don't have a roll call. And we don't actually have, we'll take public comment at this time. Janice Bowman?
Thank you. Excuse the glasses. I kind of broke my glasses, so I hold them. But I'm glad to be here with you today. Haven't been back for a while. Basically, because I want to talk about some ideas you said about the budget. You'd like ideas how to work with the budget. So I wrote down some things. Plus, I did send you some things concerning a little bit of issues I'm going to talk about tonight. One of my big issues is I've been studying the funds that we get, be it federal, grant, local. Now, before I do this, do I have 3 minutes? Or where am I at tonight?
If you like, I'll start counting now. 3 minutes.
That's what I'm asking. Are you doing that? So I'm just verifying it. It's okay.
We're trying to keep to that.
Okay, well, I'm just clarifying it for you. So about the budget, when you take grants, I'm really concerned that not only your school board, but all school boards, they never read the grant. Now the grants have funded, unfunded, underfunded dollars. And a lot of these are called your mandates, your strings. And I have just found out through somebody down in Oxford that the curriculum that's tied to ESSER 3 grant, they're going to, it's called SAVVAS. Well, when she went to do finding out what's on the curriculum, she wanted to know, because she's on the board, I want to look at the old one, and I want to look at the new one. And when she did, the teachers gave her 5 books, a manual, and said, okay. She said, all right, now I want to look at the computer, I want to look at your play role acting, I want to look at any kind of games playing you do, anything along the internet line. She was then told, you can't do that. This is, I have an, what is it called, non-disclosure thing, they're not allowed to, I can't let you look at it. Even me as a teacher cannot look at that curriculum until I teach it. So she thought, nah, this is, she's not believing it. So she went to the principal. Her principal told her the same thing. I cannot let you look at it because I am not allowed to look at it. So she said, why can't we look at the curriculum besides those books? And he said, because we have a copyright, non-disclosure letter. So she didn't believe the principal either. So she went to the superintendent. The superintendent told her the same thing. No, it's then you can't look at it. I can't look at it. Principals can't look at it. So then she said, well, the curriculum must be tied to your government grant. Must be tied to the ESSER grant or one of the others that you're telling me we can't look at it because of a copyright. She said, I don't understand that because books are copyrighted. So she said, then answer me this question. Are you looking at more than one program when you do your learning, your curriculum? Do you look at more than one program and decide which is the best one? He said, no, you only look at one. So she said, so you're telling me it's tied to the grant. Why are we only looking at one? Do you show the board the curriculums? No, it's just one. It's copyrighted. We have a signed agreement. So then she pushed it farther and she said, so you mean we're at the board, you're bringing it to the board, and we're voting on it. Is that my phone?
No.
Okay, we're voting on it. So what I'm asking you, not only am I concerned about grants, and you know I've been talking about grants a long time. Have you ever studied, before you did a budget, all the mandates that are funded and unfunded tied to all of our grants? Have you actually read the grant to see where the money is? Because your grants actually don't pay out all at one time, does it? When they say you got 1.5 million, you don't get 1.5 million. You get a portion, and then you do something, and then you get a portion, right? And when you're done, if you did everything correct, then you get the back payment. But they can actually keep your grant.
Right, so Janice, you're at 3 minutes.
Okay.
Let's talk about this a little bit. I mean, right now, Jake has been looking at our curriculum. He's been doing kind of a refurbishment. And going forward, you know, we're going to obviously, hire a permanent, interim superintendent, and then we will also be hiring an assistant to the superintendent. That person will be in charge of both curriculum and the grant writing. And it is the hope of this board to actually start to get more intimate with the grants and understand better, what's happening under the hood there. I mean, right now, we're just all very, strapped for time. We've got a lot of things on our plate, but that's definitely on the to-do list to understand the grants better. And when we have our new grant writer here, that person will be tasked with educating the board about what we're signing up for when we take on grants.
Let me ask questions back. Are you looking at the grant? Do you take that grant and look at the grant? That says in the grant, you have to use SAVVAS.
No, I'm telling you, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, no,
We have
but I'm
people already write grants, we have already accepted grants, they're part of our budget, and no, we have not taken the time to study those and understand the requirements.
Which
Our
was,
administration does, and because they've implemented them and they're meeting the requirements, and this is on the board's to-do list for later on, like this summer.
so let me see if I understand what you're telling me. So you're telling me you aren't interested in even looking at the grants?
We don't have the time right now.
No,
We have to
No, but
pass
I
a
mean
budget.
in the future.
Yes.
In the future.
Yes,
Are you
definitely.
going to be looking at it?
That's what she did,
And-
100%.
And the curriculum, are you interested in finding out your curriculum? Can they walk in and look at everything? The internet?
Yes, Jack lets
policy?
us
Can you?
look at whatever we want to look at. But we have to eat and sleep and go to work, and I mean, seriously, I mean,
Yeah, I'm not saying, I'm
I've been
just
putting
saying.
so much time into, like, the budget we're gonna talk about tonight and other things.
Yeah, but what I'm saying in the budget, when you know that there's unfunded mandates that are tied to grants, and if somebody like you, whatever, does a study, and you see that that grant is costing you more money, there's document all over the place. They're doing lawsuits against unfunded mandates right now.
Actually, Janice, Ed has pointed out to us some unfunded mandates that are expiring at a certain time. When he's explained budgetary things to us, he has told us which employees, et cetera, were there because of such grants. So we are getting open and honest communication, and we are trying our best to follow everything. As Joy was saying right now, we do have the budget, we have a new superintendent to put into place, we have contract negotiations. As she said, our goal is to get to a point where the grant writers are going to tell us what they're writing, and we're going to figure it out before we accept it. So yes, we're definitely on that track, I promise you.
But I don't want to hit a nail on the head too often. I'm just asking you, Rare, how do you say your name?
You can use that.
Would you be would you be willing to actually look at your grants? I mean, break them all down for the ones that are still there, the funded, unfunded, underfunded, and how long it's going to take, and approximately you can figure cost-wise, and do a report for us in the township, because that is a problem. And if you have all the records, I really don't feel like digging through it.
Well, again, our grants are not underfunded. The things we're using our grants for are not tied to curriculum. The majority of our grants are tied to salary and benefits, one-time purchases such as technology. There's no strings attached, as you say, that I've ever seen in any of the grants that Mr. Tack has written.
No, I'm talking about federal grants. I'm talking ESSER 3, which
Yep.
means you have to put money into properties, you have to have
Absolutely not.
your
Absolutely not.
preschools and all that.
Absolutely not.
How are you
There's
getting
nothing in our
around
ESSER
that?
3 ARP grant that requires us to do that.
How are you getting around that when the grants have that?
Depends on
The
how it's
federal
written.
government accepted our grant, the way it was written, and it was on, there was a public meeting about that grant, as well as involvement with the administration and the teachers regarding learning loss.
Do you
to
have
support
that
that
written
grant.
somewhere, like documentation?
It's on the website. I will have to find
Can
which,
you send it to me?
I will have to find which meeting it was at.
Yeah, send me a link so I can jump
But
on.
there was all the information of what we could spend money on, what we could not spend money on. It was all in there.
Yeah, they had a long list. They had a long list of curriculums that other
But
schools.
just because it's happening in Allentown, don't mean it's happening here.
I'm not even talking Allentown.
It
I'm
depends.
talking Texas, I'm talking.
It depends on how the grants read the grant writers.
Yeah, I don't even know, I haven't been in Allentown for a while. What I'm concerned is,
Whenever Mr. Tack opens up a new portion of a grant, he contacts our person in the northeast section for the grants and gets approval. We do not move ahead and just put something in there. We always get pre-approval before we do it.
they can deny you too, right?
Absolutely,
And then
absolutely.
you have to go back and appeal,
No, you could just change, you could just.
change what they want or whatever.
You could change the way they want to do it, or you just scrap that and go to something else.
Yeah,
Well, it's just like the whiteboard in the high school. TAC was able to get through the ESSER or ARP funding that fixed because it's tied to learning. It's tied to education. So he was able, instead of us having to take the money out of the fund balance, he was actually able to get them to agree to let us use grant funds for it.
Well, no, you get Title I's 9.5 for all those that.
Yeah, but this was ESSER 3 or ARP, I can't remember which.
And Janice, I would encourage you, if there's concerns about specific grants that we have, look at our grants and then come to those specific concerns. Because sitting here hearing about grants happening in other states and other communities may have likely has no relevance to ours.
I know I'm toxic to you, no problem, but I'm bringing you an idea that I'm working with other schools.
Well, I understand that, but
I'm
if
not
you're...
doing it to say you're not doing your work. I'm trying to give you a little red pill. Like, do you want to look at it maybe? If something's not looking right on the budget, that's why I don't come here, because I am toxic to you. For me to come and tell you something, you're shutting me down, and you laughing at me, who I tried to help you get started.
I am not laughing at
No,
Janice.
you.
Janice, the point that I'm making
I
is
look
if
at your
there's...
grants, I look at it. I went online and looked at it.
Did you have concerns with our grants?
The ESSER grants are all tied to what you're telling me they're not. So you prove me on your
You just
side
told me
they're
they're
not.
not.
I know, you told me a lot of stuff, but it didn't turn out true.
Janice,
what I'm
we just got
saying-
seated in December. What are you talking about?
I
All
know,
right, let's
I'm not,
not argue, Janice.
I'm not
telling
gonna
you.
argue, because you have a lot
I'm
going on.
here listening.
I already told you that.
And we will.
But I'm just asking you, would you please do a report? That's all I'm asking for.
But we need to look at it first. And once the budget is passed,
Well, it can be after
once
that.
we've hired a new superintendent, then we will have the time to spend.
I am okay with that. I'm not
Yeah.
telling you to do it in the next minute.
Yeah.
Because you think I have the next minute to do it.
It's something that I'd like to look into.
Yeah. I'm saying it should be for all the parents, taxpayers, because the last thing I want to say is, you know, that I was looking at taxpayers losing their home. Call the sheriff lane, I just called them today. Second Wednesday of every month for a year. We're having 20 to 25 people losing their homes. And
In
for
Carbon
me,
County, not
Carbon
here.
County,
Not
Carbon
here.
County, saying Carbon County, because that's where they have the sales. But still, what I'm looking at is boards. Not only your board, I'm looking at township boards, everybody. I don't see anybody upset because people are losing their home. And we're hearing about families, kids homeless. I don't see that in any government thing. So that's where I'm upset about it. But no, I don't expect you to fix the cloud, but I expect you to at least say, okay, we'll do it after the budget. I say, okay. But no, that's why I don't talk to you, because these are toxic. And I'm not going to be put down because I have a concern. So as far as my board, I am disappointed in you. My main goal is to shut you down, because that's all you do. You shut me down, and I need to look at people to get to where their kids are safe. So thank you.
Janice, may I point out one thing, and I just wanted to point out, since you're a very vocal proponent of child safety,
Yes. I
that
am.
we did just publish our policy 824 in regards to anti-grooming. So, you know, we are making progress in the areas in which you are concerned, because we are concerned about them as well.
I'm concerned because it's in the curriculum that's being taught.
I understand
It's
that.
affecting the kids. And it's going to be there until we change it. So that's where I'm concerned.
I understand.
Children are they're inside, their individualism is being stolen, they're being groomed, they're being indoctrinated. And I am very upset with what's going on at kindergarten through 12. So yes, I will speak out against that until I die.
That's why we jumped,
Thank you.
that's why we jumped 824 at the last meeting to get it.
It's something that should have been in
We're working
place.
on it, you're throwing, you're
But we
saying
still
that we're
have
not,
the
you don't care, we
curriculum.
do.
We still have masturbation in K through 3rd grade because you're not getting into the curriculums.
We will be.
So that's what we need to get into, because kids are being damaged. And I'm not going to shut up until all these kids are
No,
safe.
ask you to.
So don't even ask me. So I thank you, but yeah, please, when you get time, you don't have to do it this minute, but do a study for me. Show me that you're really serious. I want to see all we paid out for the stupid unfunded things we didn't do. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.